Those days. Yeah.
So you just bought the fanciest guitar on the lot.
Oh yeah.
You're so excited. You took it home. You're gonna test drive it. You're doing some donuts, which I just took my kids doing donuts for the first time, and I had some strangers' kids in the car. Nobody buckled up. I'm a terrible parent, but they were having so much fun. The moms were out watching, horrified. So I was doing this in a big open. It was fun though.
It was fun.
Anyway, you got the fanciest guitar in the lot, the biggest Gretsch, the biggest the Gibson 355 with every option on it. You got the Jaguar with all your mutes on it and everything.
There you go.
And then what?
Done.
happens?
It's the best.
Is it?
Sometimes you realize less is more.
Sometimes all the features are not the best. It's a strange thing. Like, don't get me wrong. I love 355s. I love vintage Jaguars with the mutes on them. I love all the Gretches with every bling, bluggity, block, bling, bling button on it. But sometimes it's just too much junk. You don't use it.
Can be.
Yeah, it can be great, but like often it is. Like we were talking about my 355.
And it's amazing. I think it's behind us.
It's that one back there. And
wouldn't you be sort of happy if maybe you just plugged it in and it worked like a normal guitar?
I wish it wasn't stereo every day of my life.
And you don't want to change it because, you know, like you don't want to mod it or do something weird. But that was like the top of the heap back then. Like that, the fanciest feature. It's stereo. It's obviously better.
And that awesome trem piece on the back of it, the best that's ever been made. No, not either. But it's like I'm scared it will break if I use it, so I don't use it ever. But I don't. It's just things that you don't need, or the Veritone switch.
The Veritone switch.
I mean, people are like, oh, you don't like the Veritone? It's not that I don't like it. I just don't need it. I rarely use it. Like like don't get me wrong, a 345. There's something super sexy about it.
There is something. Well, there's something sexy about all of them.
Yeah. And I love this guitar. I do love it. But if it was just a mono, non-Veritone, non-big speed, I'd be just as happy.
Maybe, dare I say, happier.
I think in some ways, because I only get to really enjoy the bridge pickup on it usually when I just plug it in and go, because I gotta use this. I gotta hook up my little router or get a different cable or something. I just don't like pedals and things. They scare me.
So that's very ironic for you because you hate all this.
I know, but and the router is so confusing. I hate it because I don't have it plugged in all the time. So I'm like sitting there with my little Leo or whatever you pronounce that silly German.
Leahy, blah blah blah.
I don't
know what it is either, but
that dumb thing that I have, expensive, overpriced little box that makes things sound gooder. I just don't want to deal with the problem. I just want to plug and play. And then we've found through history too. You brought up in the with the mutes. On the
you see like the old country gentlemen's with the little string mutes, or like just have them on some of the Fender offsets. You think at the time that those things, that you need them or they're better, or that, the people designing the guitars think, okay, we're evolving. I think most people would agree, probably didn't need to evolve after the Strat and the Tele.
No, but I'm glad we still are. I want there to be like evolution out there, but
no, yes, no, that's cool. I'm gonna get some hate for that, but
yeah, you are. You're a jerk.
Yeah, no,
it's true. Old man. No, but there's a time and place for these weird niche things, and it's not for the mass production of it. I think.
Right.
We were talking with one of the Fender Custom Shop master builders, Carlos Lopez, the other day, and I was just looking at his pieces again. I love when he puts like a delay circuit in a Marauder. I think it's amazing. Does that need to be mass produced across the board?
Nah.
Yes. No, probably not, but I think in some ways. Or like putting the fuzz in like a baritone or something silly, or just, but these are niche things.
Maybe like a chaos pad in your guitar.
Yes.
For your Muse tribute act.
I want one of those so bad.
That is kind of cool.
I think Muse is phenomenal.
Well, they are phenomenal.
I've seen them, I think, 3 times.
I saw them open for U2, and it was pretty mind-blowing. It was pretty great.
Oh, that's cool.
In Atlanta.
That's a cool gig.
It was a great,
Because U2 is amazing, too.
They really are amazing live. Hate them if you want, but live they're...
I listened to 4 U2 songs yesterday on my road trip. I was like, man, every song they have is great.
It's great. I'll get in U2 phases, and then...
Elevation, remember that one?
Yeah.
That's the one you and I both...
Elevation.
And all the other stuff. And
what's
the one with whatever, doesn't matter. But but back to like the niche weird ones, I love them, but it's for a smaller audience.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be. So when you go into the guitar store, I call it the car lot, like in one of the big mass ones with lots of like guitars all over the walls. I want the most expensive because it's the best. Not always. Sometimes it's just fancier, like prettier wood that makes no difference on the sound.
Right.
It might actually be a detriment to the sound.
And when you're talking about features, sometimes there are things to go wrong there. Do you know what I mean? Or they're sort of like new inventions that maybe they don't work great, like, you know, tuners that tune themselves. I don't know, things like that. Whatever.
I get upset
Sounds
when he talks
like a
about
good
that
idea.
because that was one of my favorite things that ever came out of the Gibson lab. It wasn't.
Yeah.
No, or just like the more stuff you have, the more stuff that breaks too.
That's exactly right.
It's like, and that's and that's the magic of like an Esquire too, or simple Telecasters, like less wiring, more sound, more power, more ugh. So this all started when Derek, we were talking. He's like, "Can you do a video explaining like the differences of the 300, like the 330s, 335s, 345s, 355s?" I'm like, "It's a short video. We could do it though. We'll do that eventually."
Sure.
That's a
Probably.
good one. Maybe you could do that.
Yeah, okay.
Alone, because I don't want to be
Fair
here for
enough.
that.
Yeah, no.
Does that sound fair?
I think that's
We
fair.
just have lots of pictures of
Sure.
guitars.
Exactly.
Thank God. No, so yeah, just sometimes the bare bones minimum
Simplicity.
is the best. Like and it was Jack over at Peach Guitars did a great video on the Fender Players series guitars. Check it out, Jack at Peach Guitars. It's really is a great breakdown on why that might be one of the best guitars to get into Fender with. There's more expensive ones, but if you want to get a Fender Strat or a Tele, just get one of those, and you've never had one.
It's probably gonna work just fine.
Whatever I was like, what do they do? I don't do that. I don't. That's a cooking thing. It's like no. I don't know who does that. Is it Italian?
I'm sure someone does it.
If James was here, I'd ask him.
He would know.
But James is a terrible Italian.
Yeah.
He's too like hip and like woke and everything. It's just not what we want in our Italians. I want like Goodfellas Italians,
Right.
like where they pop their suits a lot and
Some mob action.
pop the sleeves out, and I like that. Saints of Newark.
So there you go.
Yeah, didn't get through it. Sorry, it's a Sopranos movie. So it's just keep it kind of simple sometimes.
So buy your Cadillac guitar, but maybe it shouldn't be like your go-to only guitar.
The Cadillac guitar is a Strat or a Les Paul or a 335. It doesn't have to have all the stuff. And sometimes it's, don't get me wrong, there's nothing better than like a classic SG with the trim on it. That's not
God,
a
that
good
is
trim.
sexy.
Why is it so sexy?
I don't know. It is. You don't have to use it or touch it. It just it's just better.
The only person in the shop that has that is Sean.
I know.
I feel like that's so unfair.
I know. We should have one.
He has like way better guitars than he deserves to have at this point in his
Probably.
life.
It's probably
He's so
true.
young.
It's probably true.
But he's really like, he's pretty and he's a good guitar player too. Whatever. Fine. But yeah, let us know your thoughts on fancy pantsy dancy guitars. And if you have it all.
Fancy guitars. I like it. There you go.
Fancy
Maybe
dancy.
like a Tele with binding. That's
that's like a
Cadillac-ish for
tuxedo.
me. It is.
I do like binding.
Sort of like a mullet, all business up front, party in the back kind of thing.
Love them all. Sorry, I'm just thinking about guitars now.
Sorry.
Take us home, Johnny Rob.
There we go. Hit like and subscribe. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. More features, less features. What's the best way to go about it? Hit that bell so you don't miss videos in the future. We'll see you guys next time.
Was it like taste great, less filling? Was that like a thing?
Yeah, I think it was.
I don't know what that was.
What
for.
is that?
It's
Is
a
that a
beer.
beer?
It's a beer. At first, I was thinking Almond Joy and Mounds. Ugh.
Sometimes you feel like a nut. Yeah.
Both are gross.
There you go. Done.